in South Africa. We've got a quick introduction of the respective dignitaries. A proud day for so many of these young men, relatively inexperienced internationals they are, some of them having never represented their countries previously, having an opportunity as part of their Orange African Nations Championship squads to play for their countries. This tournament, of course, exclusively for players who campaign in their own domestic leagues. And for many of those out on the pitch at the moment, the honour of meeting not only the CAF president, but of course the FIFA president as well, the man in charge of global football. Ali Salama of Libya introducing his squad to the dignitaries, and he gets a final wish of good luck from Fikile Mbalula. Issa Hayatu having a little meet and greet with the player escorts, some seemingly confused by the overwhelming situation. But well wishes from the heads of delegation of both Libya and Ghana, sporting gestures. And bringing up the rear is the eldest son of Nelson Mandela and Winnie Madikizela Mandela's daughter Zinzi, Mr. Zondwa Mandela, playing for the trophy. That comes along with a prize for $750,000 US.
And now the national anthem of Ghana.
A big fist pump for Maxwell Canado as the national anthems are completed here at Cape Town Stadium. The final is upon us. Ghana, who returned following their silver medal for the second edition, they finished bottom of their group in Sudan, but for a perennial threat in African competition, Ghana will be looking to bounce back here in the best possible way by taking the gold medal. And standing in their way is this inspired Libyan side. 4 changes though from the side that played in the semi-final against Zimbabwe. 2 suspensions, Gait and Fatoria out suspended. Musrati gets a start, Faisal Ali Saleh gets an opportunity as well for this Libyan outfit, but El Ghadi should control the middle of the park as Abu Shnaf gets a rare start for Libya as well. For Ghana, 2 changes from the side that started in the semi-final against Nigeria on Wednesday. Of course, Kwabena Aluse is suspended after his red card against the Super Eagles. An opportunity for Godfred Saka to come in to join his Adwana Stars goalkeeper teammates in defence. And then up front, Suli Mohammed starts ahead of Yahya Mohammed. Algerian referee Mr. Mohamed Benouza takes charge of this final. A great honour, of course, for Krishna Bhutan of Mauritius and for Yanusa Musa of Cameroon, as they get opportunities as assistant referees. Today, Abubakar Mario Bangura of Guinea is today's fourth official. Libyan fans in very good spirits as the coin toss is conducted. With Libya winning the toss, Ghana will have the kickoff. Smiles all round for the Libyan fans. Will they be smiling come the end of this match? There are still a number of fans from not only Zimbabwe and Nigeria who have remained to watch this final, but also just neutral fans who've come to watch and taking the atmosphere of the final. Maxwell Konado watches on, hoping for more success. He was part of a successful All-Africa Games team in 2011. Now for a moment of applause in honour of the former State President Nelson Mandela. Paying tribute to Nelson Mandela Madiba, who reminded us that sport has the power to change the world and to unite people. He reminded us that it speaks a language everyone understands. Libya in their final team huddle up against a Ghanaian side that looked to be up for this game. They've emerged from a tough battle with Nigeria. They were playing with 10 men for over an hour against the Nigerians and still managed to advance past Stephen Keshi's side. Mohamed Benouza gets the final of this Orange African Nations Championship underway, the third edition after the Democratic Republic of the Congo won the inaugural tournament. Tunisia won the event in 2011, hosted by Sudan. Which of these sides will join that exclusive club that has become the winners of the Championship of African Nations? Only a third member of that little club will be crowned here. Early challenges, Libya in the black and red, as Javier Clemente, the Libyan coach, marches to the edge of his technical area, seemingly unhappy with the call by the referee. Either way, Ghana have a free kick early on. They play in the white with black and yellow trim. Akufo, ball into the area, headed out to the near side. Ghana will have a throw opposite the 18-yard area. Tijani, he struggled towards the end of the Nigerian match, seemingly with a knee trouble, but he hobbled his way right to the very end, committed as ever with the Ghanaian players. It was a very hard slog. Early chance here. Nashnoush plucks it out of the air. It was a looping header with not much power behind it. And Sponsi looked to get Ghana off to the best possible start. Nashnoush, not much footwork, but comfortably enough to get there. Ball over the top, and Bansi wants to flick it forward. The offside flag has been raised, so an early call against Ghana for offside. returning from an offside position. Quite correct. Yunusa Musa of Cameroon. Down the near side. Little touch from Ahmed Al-Magasi. Down behind the Libyan defence, but cleaned up by the captain Salama. Back to his goalkeeper, Nashnoush. One of a host of Al Ahly Tripoli players who are part of Javier Clemente's starting lineup tonight. Controlled by Opoku. Laid it down very nicely to Saka on that far side. Man that comes into the starting lineup tonight. Pushing Ainuson, who started in the right-back role against Nigeria, into a central defensive role, the young Asante Kotoko man. Far side. Much better running here, Eluni. Very tricky run-up. To lay the ball off to Ganouri. Tries a shot, goal-bound, but pulled slightly. Bushnaf just saying to Ganouri, there might have been an option of finding me somewhere on the inside, although it was a relatively crowded. Bushnaf not exactly sitting in a clear pocket that Ganouri could have picked out confidently. El Ghadi. It's Faisal Ali Saleh. To his Al Hilal teammate, Ahmed El Tribi. El Ghadi. Down to the far side, Elwani. Salama. Libya, they enjoy playing this short passing game. They're quite confident at it. They don't have the tactical game plan, it seems, despite the brilliance of their coach. And some of the other teams have, but they do the basics so well, and it's been a successful formula for them ultimately. Back behind the Ghanaian defence for the briefest of moments, and certainly Libya are one of the more structured teams, both in defence and in attack. There's Javier Clemente, Spanish man in charge of Libya, and he no doubt be with Spain in mourning the loss of Luis Aragonés, coach of La Roja's rise to prominence at the European Championships in 2008. Luis Aragonés, of course, took Spain to that first European Championship title in 44 years, and then, as he said he would do, stepped down as coach and allowed current coach to take over. Great chance here for Libya to get an early strike, and Abu Shnaf knows he's wasted an opportunity. Stephen Adams charged to the edge of his 18-yard area. The very tall striker Abu Shnaf. Ball just bounced over Anusan, who was man of the match in the semi-final against Nigeria. Abu Shnaf couldn't control it, and Stephen Adams came charging out and needed to get that ball away from danger immediately. The follow-up efforts also less than successful. A couple of nervous moments for Ghana at the back in the opening stages. Libya have showed some intent early on. El Ghadi, oh, and this is wonderful. The one thing that El Ghadi really knows how to do is he can change the tempo from simply sluggish or medium to a very high tempo match in simply a kick or two. And real momentum with Libya as they push forward again, looking to exploit any holes in the Ghanaian defence. And while they're tucked in behind Ghana's back four, they couldn't finish it off, Libya. This Libyan side showed their quality in the match against Congo Republic. They were 2-0 down, they came back and used their mental strength to their advantage, managed to draw 2-2 and advance in this tournament, worked their way through to the quarterfinals, finishing second in the group behind this team, Ghana. And if you go back down memory lane, There's a great history between these sides on the African continent. Mohamed Benouza signals free kick Libya after Saka's challenge. And the last time that Libya played in a continental final was all the way back in 1982. It was the Africa Cup of Nations. And their opponents in that final that was played in Tripoli were Ghana's Black Stars. They had met in the group stages, they played to a draw, which is exactly what they did at this tournament. Meeting in the group stages, rather than playing to a 2-2 draw as they did in '82, they played to a 1-1 draw. And then in the final, it needed to go to penalties. Ghana was successful, and they claimed their 4th Africa Cup of Nations crown at the expense of Libya. And 32 years on, the North Africans look to claim their first piece of continental silverware against the side that beat them at home in '82. Little run being made by Atobra. He was impressive, very cocksure of himself, very confident young player. Still only 18, the new Edibiasi players. Al-Magasi turning nicely. As Libya push forward, this time through Faisal Ali Saleh. Instead of opting to go forward again, they go to their key man in midfield, El Ghadi. Looking for the heights of Abu Shnaf. Deceptively tall player. Gets his nose into dangerous areas very often. But there's question marks about his first touch that weren't exactly answered by his early contributions in this match. Saleh over the top. A little awkward in trying to bring it down on the near side. Ultimately though, Libya remain in possession. Knocking the ball around, Ali Salama. He was part of the Libyan squad that played at the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations. Quite remarkably managed to qualify for the tournament through the civil war in Libya. Stephen Adams will collect for Ghana. Although at the time he was playing his football in Tunisia at Olympic Beha. Back in Libya now. 10 minutes gone by. Libya 0, Ghana 0. It is the final of the 3rd edition of this Orange African Nations Championship. Jordan Apoko through for Ghana. Forward again. Salamo's come away with it. El Ghadi now. A little too slow in reaching it. The Algerian referee in charge. Libya having qualified for this tournament after Algeria withdrew from the qualifying process. In fact, neither of these sides actually kicked a ball in qualifying. Ghana qualified following Benin's withdrawal from qualification process. Both have made their way through to the final. 3rd place playoff a little earlier today. I mean, successfully been claimed by Nigeria. A late goal by Obiozor, managing to put paid to any hopes Zimbabwe had of claiming that 3rd place. Al-Magasi! Adams with a touch. He was still alive for Libya for a moment. Saka didn't clear but got a touch on it again. Atobra back with Saka. Stephen Adams is down as that ball knocked forward. The whistle has not been heard by some of the players, and play continued for a moment with Stephen Adams of Ghana down on the edge of his own 6-yard area. But Libya have put in a couple of attacking efforts early on. This is the most recent of them. Al-Maghazi, a little 1-2 down the near side, and then a near inch perfect cross in. Ghanudi was making the charge, and Stephen Adams maybe will have collided with his own player. That's how he landed after the touch on from Ghanudi, and he may have caught his own player on the way down as well. Either way, Stephen Adams, who took a couple of knocks in the match against Nigeria, the semi-final, managed to recover. Javier Clemente, he's a man for the big occasion. He's proved that in his time with various club sides over the years, and of course with Spain's youth teams. Just here for the football, or supporting anybody in particular? There's a lot of seemingly slow festive cheer in Cape Town. And the atmosphere for this final, a rather cheerful and joyous one. Near side, Anuson. There's Michael Akufo. Asante Kotoko supplying many starters to this Ghanaian side in the final. The likes of Opoku and Kufo among those. Ghana looking for a way through this Libyan defence now. Libya have 6 back, appealing for a free kick. Play on is the call. Punch toward the back post. It'll be kept in play by Tijani, who's come flying up from that left back roll. He's won the corner, the throw-in rather. As Al-Maghazi tracked back in time to prevent Ghana from finding a corner. Flick on the edge of the 18-yard area. The referee says free kick Libya. Suleiman Mohammed just contesting for possession with 15 minutes gone by. No score as yet in this match. These sides having met previously on 9 occasions. Libya won 3, Ghana have only won 2. The remaining 4 matches, including that group stage clash in Bloemfontein, ending in a draw. Including their only previous meeting on the continental stage in a final. Well, this is a young man who's got so much potential. While the free kick was given for a clash between Akufo and El Ghadi, the man you saw momentarily was Amouat Asimbela Mohamed Al Musrati. Suleiman Mohammed trying his luck from range. Two coaches with good experience at youth level, with inexperienced squads, that might prove to be quite handy. Clemente mainly with Spain, and certainly Konado with Ghana over the years, under 20s and under 23 level. And certainly learned from the likes of James Kwesi Appiah as well, did Maxwell Konado, who was a striker in his playing days. Oboku to the near side. Here's Tijani receiving from Anuson, who goes back to the defender. Oboku. Ball in over the top. Ali Salama will look to shepherd that ball to safety. And the referee says It's not a goal kick, instead it's a corner. Questioning look from the Libyan captain. He was convinced that if he shepherded that ball to safety, it'd be called as a goal kick. Taken short by Ghana. Saleh getting the important touch, but ultimately conceding the corner kick again. Jordan Oboko comes out to the near side to feed in. This time goes long. Noosh got underneath it slightly and only succeeded in punching that ball almost directly upward. Free kick, Ghana. Anuba gone down. Again, relatively close to the corner flag, so Ghana will have another chance from the set piece to test Libyan defence. Aerially, they're fairly solid. Saleh not happy with the call, and Omagasi among those questioning. But it was late, and there was nothing wrong with referee Banuza's call. He was spot on. Theophilus Anuba scored against Congo Republic in that comeback from 2 goals down. Rather in Ghana's 1-0 win, as Libya came from 2 goals down. And from the set piece here, Ghana. Little touch and Saka blasts it high. Jogs back to his defensive position. Not the tallest of players. Speedy little player when he wants to get going. Low centre of gravity, enjoys running with the ball at his feet. And Noosh preparing to send this downfield. Diving header away. El Ghadi covers the ball. A little rescue effort in the middle of the park again. Aluni picks out Kanudi. Up against Suli Nuru. And Nuru disappointed with the referee's call. Frustrated. And tosses the ball down in anger, but the referee just wants to have a word with Suli Nuru. Clipped the inside of Kanudi's leg. It should be noted that Banuza is a quality referee who was very unlucky to miss out on officiating at the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Not he, but one of his assistants failed a fitness test, and as a result, he was among those who failed to get an opportunity to officiate in the tournament. High focus on fitness and great ability as a referee. A worthy man in the middle for this final. Abu Shnaf causing a few problems. His height is a great advantage for Libya. Has it been hit too long? El Ghadi tries, but in vain, to keep this ball in play. Relatively tall player that he is as well, was singing the national anthem with such gusto and emotion. And you get a real sense that Libya are playing for the pride of a nation. Standing in Ghana's way to finish this tournament on a high is, of course, a side who really are playing for a nation, for national pride. A country that was devastated in recent years by the toppling of Muammar Gaddafi's government to civil war. As Michael Okofu limps back to his position in the middle of the park, he's happy to run off the knock that he took. Opoku. That's Tijani. Clipped by Saleh again, who's going to be cautioned. It's the second time that Saleh's been late in the challenge. No hesitation from referee Banuza. Straight out to the incident after signalling free kick Ghana. Saleh picks up the yellow card. Late, and certainly took out the feet of Tajani, who's back on his feet and preparing to take the set piece. Ball bouncing around in the air. Very aerially solid. That's one thing that can be said about the central defensive partnership, El Tribi and Ali Salama for Libya. Aerially, they're a very strong partnership. The way they change, the way they switch effortlessly is quite impressive. And switching play is carried out very efficiently, very effectively. Ball in over the top. Bansi. Anoba. Delivery inside and away by Al Magasi. Libya, side that was set to host 2013 Africa Cup of Nations, and indeed this tournament will host the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations instead, after the strife in their country. Anwar. Bansi was chasing, but it's Tajani who's come to the near side. Big clearance by El Tribi. Just a little pop over the top. Tajani inside the area. Atobra looking for a way through. Ghana have men. As Atobra goes off his feet under the challenge of the impressive Al Musrati. Referee happy for play to continue. Tajani thought about taking a shot. Ball out of play. All under the watchful eye of FIFA President Sepp Blatter. Directly in front of him, Secretary General of FIFA, Jerome Falk. He's earned quite a reputation for himself as a worthy presenter for the respective World Cup draws and associated FIFA draws ahead of large tournaments. 25 minutes gone by, Libya 0, Ghana 0, the final of this third edition of the Orange African Nations Championship. Libya playing for their country, Ghana hoping to make it third time lucky at this tournament, having finished runners-up in 2009 and being eliminated at the group stages in 2011. Nashnouj cleared the ball downfield. Amushnaf retreating to control that ball off his chest before Musrati won possession again. Kanudi charging down that far side, a skip over the top of him though. And Sulanudi happy to see that ball out over the goal line in front of the Minister of Sport and Recreation, club owner of Mamelodi Sundowns, Patrice Motsepe, as ball played through. Had Bansi chased, would have been offside. Nashnouj. Musrati needed to get rid of that quickly. Alhouni put into a spot of bother. Actually, the ball hoofed to safety by Alouani, one of the more experienced squad members, a long-time servant of Al Ahly Benghazi, the more successful of the Al Ahly clubs in Libya. Two of them One based in the capital city Tripoli, the other in Benghazi, the second city. Bouncy, back to Opoku, creating a little space for Saka to clear. And some good combination play with Mpong when he was getting opportunities on the pitch for this Ghanaian side. Very strong in their shape, are Ghana. And technically gifted, they're very physically capable as well, and while not the tallest players, certainly have a great deal of speed to use to their advantage. Akufo bringing the ball out towards Tijani on the near side. Quick feet now needed. Ghana have plenty men waiting for an opportunity to strike it. Mashnoush's goal, opportunity lost as Anobar throws his arms in the air. El Ghaidi. Near side, Al Maghazi. Abu Shnaf. Thought about taking the throw himself, then left it for Al Maghazi. Getting slightly awkward bounce for the tall striker. Takes a clip on the shin. Was expecting a call in his favour, but doesn't get it from Mohamed Benouza. So they picked out Abu Shnaf. Al Musrati pushing forward for Libya again. Look at the numbers that Ghana have behind the ball though. 10 players back to help out defensively. Now they spread as they go in search of an opening goal in this final. Approaching the half-hour mark, neither one of these sides having found that precious opening goal. Free kick Libya. Sully Mohammed and against Ahmed El Tribi. Landed on it with the arm. Referee said handball. Free kick Libya. Half an hour gone by. It's the North Africans who've enjoyed some serious attacking play to start, but now are needing to defend against a Ghanaian side that's building in confidence and building in number of opportunities as they push forward, trying to find the opener. Anuba, Atobra. Tijani waits for possession on the near side. Atobra pushing forward. Opoku. Oh, look at the touches from Opoku. This Ghanaian passing game is impressive. Saka, deflection. Out for the corner. Wonderful play from Ghana. Some genuinely impressive play. The passing game, at times, is as crisp as I've ever seen it. One-time touches, great return balls, lovely deliveries, operating in a triangle, strong support play. Just so good technically with the ball at their feet, this Black Stars squad. Change of direction, also a huge positive in this Ghanaian play. Tijani. Atobra tries a shot that's just flaked off the side of the boot. Didn't catch it with quite the full face of the bootlaces that he wanted to. just losing his balance, falling back on it as he struck that ball. No, something we saw quite a bit of in the semi-finals, something that Mashnoush was eventually cautioned for, a little time wasting, and many of the South African fans trying to inspire the atmosphere here at Cape Town Stadium in Mother City. Still in fine cheer as both Libyan and Ghanaian fans celebrate with the neutral fans. An atmosphere of football, carnival of football. And there looks to be a little cut above the eye of the Ghana defender Ainusan. Samuel Ainusan needs to come to the near side, so Nashnush was not delaying play. Salama trying to call the play, looks to skip it over the top. Bushnaf using his height, but Ganoudi had made a run in the opposite direction. And picked up by Saka. Back inside, Opoku. Vanuza. Free kick Libya it is. Dressing up for the game. Mashnoush happy to wave his players upfield before trying to deliver. They've got the height of Abu Shnaf as such an advantage. Ganoudi controls here. Elouni. Driving ball into the area that most were expecting to come in aerially. Al Musrati recovered after El Ghadi chested it down. Al Magasi. Through ball. Looking for the little turn here was Bonsi for a moment. Speaking of turns, great control from Saleh down the near side. Al Magasi on the overlap, taking it past Tijani, cuts back inside of Anoba. Jordan Opoku showing why he wears that captain's armband. Such leadership on the field. Not the tallest player, not the strongest player. And mentally he is superb. And his leadership abilities and tactical play unquestioned. Bonsi, immediate return ball, but it's a little too weak to pick out Tatubra again, but Bonsi's got it back and Ghana in possession. Suli Mohammed trying an effort that's so tame. Ali Salama quite happy to come away with it. I can tell you all this time that Ghana have been playing with 10 men, because their number 5, Anusan, has been having his head bandaged. He's only now making his way back onto the park, where he'll tuck in alongside that man, Suli Nuru. So Maxwell Kanadu a little more relieved at having 11 and 11. Away by the man who's just had his head bandaged, Ainusan. It was a very wet day. It was Wednesday in Mangaung, in Free State Stadium. Very heavy pitch, 120 minutes against a hard-running Nigerian side. May have taken its toll on the Ghanaians. Ainusan with defender Aduse having been red-carded relatively early on in that match, put in a titanic effort to keep Nigeria at bay, eventually rewarded with a man of the match honour. Al Musrati. This time a little too strong from the prolific teenager. Satubra left behind for Saka. Free kick Libya. Monty is taking down El Tribi from behind. El Tribi straight back on his feet to take that piece, which is wasted, given away. Salama watchful. It's getting a little messy on the park. Looks like boots lashing out at one another. Atubra complaining, some jersey tugging going. Lunia was a clip of his boots before he clipped his own boots. And the players both off their feet, trying to win possession. It's almost comical. Well, Libya are pushing. They need to hit back. They want that goal inside the opening half. Clemente looking on, the little frustration building as Abu Shnaf looked to get into a promising position and unleash the powerful shot that was there to be taken. Drawing defenders away, might have had an option of trying to set up somebody in support. Support play from Ghana has been quite solid. Support play from Libya's midfield has been impressive. El Ghadi late this time though. Apologises. He took the ball first, but he certainly took out the Ghana player. And he apologised for it. I think the part that hurt most for Theophilus Sanoba was the fact that Mohamed El Musrati then clipped him with a boot or the follow through. Saka from the set piece for Ghana, floated into the area. Again, it's the height advantage of Abu Shnaf that proves useful for Libya. Inside the final 5 minutes of this opening half, Libya 0, Ghana 0. Tijani with a sweeping clearance out to the far side. And it started with two sides looking most promising, and it's turned into a slightly more cautious affair now. Saleh, who swept it out to the near side, ball back with him. He was the man that scored from the penalty mark against Ghana in the group stages. The 1-1 draw, in fact the only time that Ghana's goalkeeper Stephen Adams has been beaten in this tournament so far. 4 clean sheets in his 5 previous matches. So Libya are going to need to produce something special to see if they can beat Stephen Adams. Tijani forward. Suli Mohammed has a decision to make. El Tribi, as he clipped it, came off Suli Mohammed, so goal kick it is. And straight away, well, the player was making the call rather confidently. The referee, Mohamed Benouza, seemed to see it exactly the same way, made an immediate call for goal kick, rather than look across to his assistant referee on the far side. Abu Shnaf flick on, Ganuri chases, but controlled again by Nuru. Saka. Atubra, back with Saka. Waiting as well for the opening goal of this final. Will the might of Ghana prevail, or can emotion somehow lift this recovering Libyan side to the title? Under the guidance of the former Spanish coach, Javier Clemente. Delivery sent out to the far side. Throw in Ghana. Ball being allowed to bounce in the area. Goal kick it is. Minister of Justice in South Africa, Chief Khadebe, sitting on alongside Molefi Olifant, the local organising committee chairman, member of the CAF executive. A minute to go to half-time, plus some added time, not too much I imagine, but we have seen a couple of injury concerns. Nusen, Nuru trying to get acrobatic, nearly a little something unfortunate it seemed. Clearance, Bonsi. Ghana look to maintain possession here. Atubra back to Saka. Good combination play between the two. There's a great understanding between Saka and Atubra, it seems. And Sully Mohammed going down. Well, Libya wanted to come away with it. Mohamed Benouza says, sorry lads, let's just have a pause in play. There's a check on the Ghanaian player who's down, clutching his leg. 45 minutes has gone by. As we hit the 45-minute mark, 2 minutes of time has been added on. Medical attention coming onto the park. Javier Clemente, a couple of instructions. Among those taking the instructions, El Ghadi and El Tribi, all senior statesmen in this Libyan squad. Still alive, that expectation from the Libyan fans. That's still very much the case for the Black Stars fans as well. And for the host nation, well, South Africa did not make it to this stage. There are those watching and enjoying the football, the display by both Libya and Ghana, supporting the competition. The tournament, a tournament that the CAF president believes could be as highly regarded as the African Cup of Nations in a matter of years. I've certainly seen many positives emerging from this tournament, and a real opportunity for people who play in their domestic leagues to showcase their ability and talent, and some have really stepped up to the plate. We've seen some bright young talents. El Ghadi back to Al Musrati. Mohamed Benouza signalling half-time in this final, the Orange African Nations Championship final. 45 minutes have gone by. Libya not breached the Ghanaian defence, but they have managed to hold firm themselves, not being penetrated by this Ghanaian side that has the ability to score from just about any angle and has such industrious and energetic build-up play. Two very different styles in their approach to football, but both very structured in their own way. but ultimately playing for a gold medal match, playing in the final, is always a tense affair that is often decided by a moment of magic. That moment of magic has yet to come. Or will it be Libya or Ghana who produce it in the second half? That we will find out in around 15 minutes, but at the break it's goalless.
Kickstart the new year on the best network with the
Well, there you have it then. So it's a build up to the second half of this final here. We are waiting for Libya and Ghana to come out of the change rooms and show us what they can do, and hoping that this final will be memorable for more than just the football.
Well, I must say Cape Town has really supported this tournament. I think we had decent crowds in most of the games. I said early on when I saw the stadium packed, it's fantastic to see a full house.
Well, fantastic indeed. Second half coming up now.
Mohamed Renoza gets the signal from the general coordinator, the former Ghana captain Tony Buffo, who takes charge of this final. And the second half is underway. Goalless in this Orange African Nations Championship final. Libya up against Ghana, who the Black Stars play tonight in the all-white. Abu Shnaf towards El Ghadi, but easily cleared by Tijani, who had the pace to reach it first. Goalless between the sides at the break. No half-time substitutions either for either one of these sides. Akufo to Tijani. Akufo again, having to fetch the ball deep. This combination play with Jordan Opoku is going to be most crucial for Ghana. It's part of their build-up play. Slight slip from Nashnoush, but recovered easily enough. Just looks behind into his goal mouth here in Cape Town Stadium. No concerns ultimately, and with no pressure from any of the Ghanaian strikers. There's quite some time before he gets rid of that ball. Mitchell Conrado watching on, trying to outdo Javier Clemente. This time Abu Shnaf penalised. Arm over the top of Tijani. He's pulling him back. El Tribi over the top. Musati was looking for it. Again, a little flick back inside from Saleh. El Ghadi touches all around, appeals for handball and eventually called. Jordan Opoku says it was off my chest, but he smiles wryly at the referee, perhaps a little knowingly as well. Oh, with Ahmed Alwani on the near side. As we look back at the moment that Mohamed Renoza penalised Ghana for a handball against the captain. Ghana look threatening. There appeals for a penalty here, but nothing in it from either one of the players involved in the incident. Corner kick straight away is the call from Mohamed Renoza. Tribi with a well-timed challenge. The two players involved in that incident. No appeals for a penalty at all between them. Fourth corner of the game for Ghana. Libya have yet to earn a corner in this match. Saka goes deep toward the back post. Anusan was there. He was charging in toward that back post. Ali Salama, though, covering it nicely, watching the run-up. How close was that, he says. Hands on head. Saka, though, prepares to take the second corner in the space of a minute, but just before coming into striking the ball, referee just spotting a little pushing and shoving going on. Ball high and toward the back post again. Free kick, Libya. Nuru looks to be the player who's just taken a bit of a knock on the knee. Ball lifted in. Ainusan knocking it back in towards a collection of players. Either way, free kick Libya, which is knocked upfield by Nashnoush. Ainusan goes out to challenge Al Musrati on the far side. Is it a clash of heads? Well, the youngster has gone down, he's holding his head. Referee on the spot and happy to call the free kick to Libya very quickly. Going over to check on the condition of the player. And Ainusan, credit to him. After this clash of heads, Ainusan took a knock himself in the opening half, for which he had to get his forehead bandaged. Clemente watches as his player is down. Big clash of heads. Anwar Sembela, Mohamed Al Musrati. It's been a couple of high intensity challenges between the players. Saleh has been guilty of a few late and clumsy challenges. After a clash of heads, Ainusan came over and wanted to check on whether or not Musrati was alright, all fine. Meanwhile, he gets stretched to the far side of the park and play gets back underway with Libya inside Ghana territory and a free kick, but a false start on this one. Delivery and Stephen Adams, collision, but the offside flag had been raised regardless. Stephen Adams down and clutching his stomach. Waves away the referee and has a word with one of his defenders. Regardless of what would have happened, the offside was what was called initially. Well, I don't believe that was the case. Well, this time, Sulinuru, the player who collided with his own player. Yes, sure, there was some contact with El Tiribi, but certainly it was Sulinuru, the player that collided with his own goalkeeper to cut his midriff. Meanwhile, coaches from Libya are out on the near side. Now, this is... Well, every time Clemente signals something, members of his technical team take it upon themselves to signal the exact same thing. Well, certainly Javier Clemente can only speak a little French and get his message across with limited French to some of his Libyan charges. Ultimately, though, he knows that there is difficulty in translations at times, so Salama claims it and gets the call in his favour. 10 minutes have gone by in this second half, and starts up challenge from Suli Mohammed, came charging through. And on the inside of Ali Salama's instep on his left foot. Free kick Libya. Goalless it remains. Unlike the third place playoff, of course, if it is still goalless after 90 minutes in this match, the possibility of extra time and penalties is a reality. No extra time in the third place playoff. Would have gone straight to penalties had the match reached 90 minutes without the sides being separated by a goal. Clemente has been in charge of Cameroon previously on the African continent. Also coached outside of Spain, Serbia for a little while. Challenge away by El Magasi. El Ghadi has it now. Changes direction again. Saleh. El Magasi pushing forward on the overlap. This is better from Libya now. A little more productive. Neither coach has made a substitution as yet. Al Musrati. Slightly quieter game today than he had in the semi-final, where he genuinely proved dangerous against Zimbabwe at times, but ultimately couldn't find that finishing touch against Nguro's inspired defensive side. Ultimately, though, it's Stephen Adams who's turning out to be the goalkeeper. He may very well go on to keep 5 clean sheets in 6 matches, and in fact has not been beaten in open play in this tournament. The only goal that's snuck past him was Faisal Ali Saleh's penalty in the group stage encounter between these sides, the 1-1 draw. Saka, delivery back inside. And Suli Mohammed going for goal. Clearance by Libya here. Recovered by Akufo. Ghana in possession. Suli Mohammed remains down. Atubra. And Suli Mohammed slowly but surely getting back onto his feet. A little tug. Barnsley was pulled down. They're not spotted by the match officials. Well, from my viewpoint, it certainly looked like there was a tug on Barnsley. So Suli Mohammed back on his feet. Looking for a way through. Not the worst little option from Eluni. Just taking it down to a central position. Saleh down the near side. Abu Shnaf goes central to use his height, and in the end straight into the red basket for Stephen Adams. Positioned himself nicely. As the ball came in from the near side, the Libyan players all had their backs to the man who was sending the ball in. Trying to run into dangerous areas, put themselves in decent positions to receive the cross. Great control. Tijani wanting to go on the overlap, but it was Anubar with the ball at his feet. Throw in is the call. But a Ghana throw in. The Libyan player had the ball for a moment. Now, Maxwell Konado, as I mentioned previously, was a striker in his day, so he's feeding instructions to the man coming on. He wants to score goals. Yahya Mohammed is a goal-bound strike, comes in from Atubra, but really not testing the goalkeeper at all. Nashnoush down very quickly. Long way out, and not exactly a fearsome, venomous strike from that sort of range. But only the second shot on target in the entire match. There's similar statistics to what we saw in the semi-finals as an hour's gone by. Al-Maghazi trying to force the pace for Libya, get them into a position from which to take a shot. Opoku, better from Ghana. They've got 4 men pushing forward. Delivery out on the far side, ball back into the area, away by Salama. Well, the throwing gets taken quickly here. Yahya Mohammed is preparing to make his way on for Ghana. He's got his instructions now from Maxwell Konado. Another moment for Sully Mohammed. Hasn't been his day. He's going to make way now, the youngster from King Faisal Babes. Coming on in his stead, a man who's 26 next month. Another one of the Asante Kotoko contingent. Yahya Mohammed will make his way on when Sully Mohammed is brought off on the near side, limping off with the aid of his medical staff. So first substitution completed in this Orange African Nations Championship final. The Mediterranean Knights of Libya from North Africa, the only North African side never to have won a continental title. Looking for a continental title of their own. Ali Salama, nervous moments at the back. Oh, nearly an early strike for Yahya Mohammed. Had a chance. Ball popped up promisingly in the air, and well, he tried to turn around and smack it goal bound. Missed it completely. Again, promising movements for Ghana, encouraging, very into the 18-yard area. Again, they come with 5 men waiting for a delivery. 6 Ghanaians inside the 18-yard area of Libya. 1 with the ball and 5 waiting for a delivery of sorts that never came. And now, Ghanouti is going to make way. The man making his way on is a man that averages a goal just over every half hour in this tournament. He's only managed just over, a shade over 100 minutes in this tournament overall, Abdul Salam Omar. But he's 1 goal away from finishing as top goal scorer in this competition. Ghanouti is off, he's holding his hamstring as he makes his way to the near side. And on in his place is Omar, who's come off the bench for Libya throughout this tournament and provided wonderful impetus every moment that he's been on. Just a shade under 6 foot tall. He's an impressive player in his touches. A 4th appearance, and a 4th appearance off the bench. Yahya Mohammed, forever a big smile on his face. Saleh Al-Magasi, uprooted by Anoba on the far side, who holds up an apologetic hand and goes over to embrace the Libyan player. Apology accepted. He knew it was wrong. I'm quite happy to apologise for it. Nothing wrong with players getting just a little carried away at times and going over and realising that they can apologise if they feel they've done something wrong or stretching the boundary of competitiveness. 20 minutes gone by in this second half. Still, neither side has managed to find a way through the opposition defence. South Africans singing along in unison. Shosholoza. Suddenly the Libyan fans and the Ghanaian fans have both quietened off significantly in this match. Maybe a sense now that they're into a nervous period, which could see the enemy in the respective eyes manage to find something special. El Ghadi goes down under real pressure. El Ghadi clipped a couple of times on the way, eventually down to ground, but straight back on his feet, happy to continue. Anusan out to safety, so corner it'll be. So with well over an hour gone in this match, Libya finally have their first corner. Ghana already 5 to their credit. And now another chance to use the height advantage that they have. Away by Yahya Mohammed. Al-Musrati. Saleh had got back himself into a position where he was no longer offside. Flicked up in the air and easy enough for Stephen Adams. His own defender had taken enough pace off that ball. Over the top, Yahya Mohammed trying to knock it toward the back post. Better from Ghana for a moment. Akufo came flying in, tried to hit it powerfully, struck it, but a little high and a little wide from the impressive midfielder. Nashnoush, well, he's taken over in goal from the very impressive Samir Aboud, who retired around about his 40th birthday. He was a remarkable character. He played from the late 90s when Libya actually returned from a 4-year ban. I think it was 97. Pretty much played the bulk of that until their 2012 Africa Cup of Nations campaign. El Ghadi, perfectly timed challenge outside the area as well, no concerns. Ghanaian fans might have been expecting or hoping for a penalty, but even a free kick was beyond them. Well-timed challenge by El Ghadi. That's what makes him so critical to Libya, middle of the park, that wonderful ball-winning ability. Time running out for the side, 20 minutes to play. It's still more than enough, but certainly when you look at all manner of things in the first 70 minutes, nothing for either one of these sides, and certainly nothing to separate the teams. That said, in the third place playoff, Nigeria only managed to score a goal in the 85th minute, so there is still very much a chance of one of these sides scoring late. In fact, Libya, 5 of their 6 goals in the tournament have come late on in the match, although 3 of them have come deep in the second half through their substitute Omar. He's used to scoring in the final 20 minutes of a match, but for now it remains goalless. After this, of course, all the awards to be handed out, medals to the referees, medals to the third place team, the runners-up, the winning team, trophy presentation to the captain as well. A handing over ceremony to the Rwandan Football Association, who will host the 2016 Championship of African Nations. El Ghadi picks up after Yahya Mohammed attempted to leave it behind for the on-rushing Saka. Eluni back inside, well stroked forward by the captain Salama, now Al-Musrati. Al-Magasi to the far side, Omar Al-Magasi. Oh, Anusan, solid defending. Ball taken out to the far side, looking for a way through. Whenever you see a crowd in that sort of spirit, you get a sense that somebody wearing the green and white of Bloemfontein Celtic is involved, and of course the shower cap of Botha, Celtic's most famed fan of this generation, at the very centre, leading the South Africans in song. Notice there's a Burundi flag flying high in the middle of the crowd. Just over 16,000 people that have made their way to Cape Town Stadium for this final. Long range effort, but it was after the whistle had sounded. Nuru sending it forward. Yahya Mohammed inside the area. He's got 2 men up in support. Bansi is among them, but he can't square it. Side netting it is. Trying to turn it. Bansi wanted it. Appeals for a corner. And the referee is given. So Libya trying to cap off what has been a fine year for North African football overall. Of course, Tunisia's Saxian went on to win the CAF Confederations Cup, the Orange CAF Champions League title, once again claimed by Al Ahly of Egypt. So if Libya can somehow win the Championship of African Nations in the space of the last 3 months, North Africa will have claimed 3 continental crowns, both at club and international level. Of course, the next 2 Africa Cup of Nations are to be hosted by North African countries. Morocco will host in 2015, next year, and Libya will host in 2017. Nation players who represent their countries, no matter where they play their club football. This tournament, the Orange African Nations Championship, is open to those who ply their trade only in their own country's domestic league. 15 minutes to play. Free kick to Libya. Omar being brought down on the far side. Frustration for Anusa, saying it's nothing but the ball, nothing but the ball. Delivery opposite the 18-yard area, and while Yahya Mohammed has been brought on for his attacking prowess, defensively, every time he's come back to defend a set piece, he's the one who's doing the clearing. He's been stoic, and he's there to score goals, and he's not finding the goals. And would see this crowd burst to absolute life. Improve the atmosphere for one contingent of fans, either the Ghanaians or the Libyans. This final needs a goal. Oh, big collision. Play on is the call. 2 Ghanaian players down, Tijani and Anoba. And for a moment, referee Benusa was quite happy to allow play to continue, as ultimately the Libyan player almost produced a dummy run of sorts, cutting straight between 2 Ghanaian players, Tijani and Anoba, who collided with one another. Al-Magasi, well, he might have taken a clip, went down to ground and straight back up on his feet. I think Anoba took the brunt of that challenge. His own teammate directly into his side. Under 13 minutes to the 90, plus some added time for one of these sides to find a winner. Otherwise, we are going to see some extra time. And I think it needs to be put into perspective as well as to just how important this would be for Libya as a nation to claim this title. This is a side that a couple of years ago received CAF's Fair Play Award for managing to remarkably qualify for the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations in amongst the most tumultuous of times, a civil war in their own country. And it's not something that was simply an overthrowing of a government. I remember in 2012 many of the footballers speaking about how they had lost family members. So for Libya, this could prove everything. Looking for a way through here. It's come off Anusan. Penalties. Appeal. Desperate appeal by Abu Shnaf amongst others. Ultimately though, the Libyan players were focusing on trying to get that ball into the back of the Ghanaian net. Anusan down again. And this is a man who's constantly at the centre of the defensive challenges from Ghana. He has literally bled for his country. Straight off the chest, nothing wrong with that, no penalty. But it was a powerful shot. Javier Clemente with a less than imaginative hey hey hey. Just over 10 minutes to play. Anusin with a huge performance again defensively for Ghana, keeping Libya at bay. They're getting stronger and stronger. Saka just wants to get rid of it. Anusin's back on his feet and back on the park. Saleh. Tijani, far side. And towards Yahya Mohammed, just over the head of the Ghanaian striker. Took a little tumble as we enter the final 10 minutes of the 90. A couple of inches too high to genuinely test the Libyan goalkeeper. Libya, they're a side that have defended so well. They've only actually won one match in this tournament, but they remain undefeated in the 5 that they've played so far. The only match that Libya won was their 2-0 victory over Ethiopia. They drew with Ghana and they drew with Congo Republic in their 2 final group matches. They drew their quarter-final with Gabon and they won on penalties. They drew their semi-final with Zimbabwe. They won on penalties, or advanced on penalties. Yahya Mohammed knowingly nods at the assistant referee on the near side. Balkrishna Bhutan, proud day for the Mauritian assistant referee. On several occasions he has officiated in South Africa CAF Champions League matches. Most notably on the sideline for the likes of Sishun Rajendra Prasad. El Ghadi between 2 Ghanaian defenders, looks to slip the ball towards Abu Shnaf, who slips. Couldn't somehow control. Anusin clears after failing to get the header away from danger area. Ball bounced kindly for him. He managed to hoof it to safety on the near side. Libya throw. Saleh. Mushnaf. Nuru trying to call the play, wants his teammates to look up and take note of what he's calling and what he's talking about. El Ghadi, meanwhile, controls things for Libya in the middle of the park as we edge ever closer toward that 90-minute mark. Libya, though, have not fared too badly against West African sides in recent times. They played a host of West African sides, including Ghana, in their warm-up matches for this tournament. They had a preparatory camp in Tunisia. Anusin again, defended out to the near side, denies Libya a shot at goal. Abu Shnaf holding the ball up, looks to turn on Saka, inside the area, Abu Shnaf! Powerful effort straight into the chest of Nuru, and that would sting if nothing else. Not much of a backlift, but he hit that with enough power to really hurt. On for the corner it goes. Saleh towards the back post he goes, a little flick away from Ghana. Oh, Jordan Opoku's got it wrong in trying to clear. Mistimed his header and instead inadvertently, unwittingly played it back towards his own goal. Now Atobrai has got pace. Back inside of Alwani and free kick to Ghana. Ahmed Alwani gets a start today in place of the suspended Fittori. And Alwani now collects the caution for this challenge. Altabara cut back inside. Nashnouj trying to settle his two-man wall. Saka not likely to go directly a goal from this sort of angle. Curl it away from the goalkeeper. Bushnaf, the tallest of the Libyan squad members, looks to get himself into a position to clear. It's El Ghadi who clears though. Otobera, who won the free kick. Chip back over the top. Again, El Ghadi looking to help defend. Saka controlled for a moment. Opoko went down. And Ghana had possession for another moment before free kick was called for Libya. Well said, Libya had had some success over West African nations in recent times. Preparation, they drew with Niger, they beat Mali, they beat Ghana in a preparation match back in September that was played in Tunisia. There are times when he looks completely frustrated, does Konadu, for a number of the players questioning, frustrating, they desperately want to win it. Jordan Opoko wants to guide Black Stars to victory. The winner of this match takes home a cheque for $750,000 US. The runners-up receive 400,000, just a shadow over half. Now this Javier Clemente signalling instructions constantly to his players, and rather than translating instructions that come from the coach, instead Javier Clemente's technical team feed exact same instructions via hand signals to the players on the park. Three minutes to play. Al Magasi making a charge on the far side that is again brought to a rather abrupt end by Ainusan. Al Musrati's won it back there for Libya. Omar. Ainusan with initial touch. Abu Shnaf. The return delivery is a poor one. Ainusan away. El Ghadi recovers for Libya. El Tribi. Al Musrati. Ali Salama. Nashnouj. Mohamed Bounouza calling again in favour of Libya here. Yahya Mohamed's just got his challenges wrong. He hasn't had much success over the semi-final and indeed the final. The bustling striker, certainly more success and more impressive in the group stages. Ali Salama, possession for Libya. Here's Alwani. Again, Abu Shnaf failing to control with his first touch. Abu Shnaf. The offside flag raised, but only would have taken effect effectively if Al Ghadi had actually got on the end of it. Omar, he's been threatening since he came off the bench. He wants that 4th goal in the tournament. There's one behind Bernard Parker. The South African still leads the goal scoring in this tournament. 4 goals in the 3 matches that South Africa played. As we hit the 90-minute mark, 2 minutes of time has been added on. If we don't see a goal in the remaining 2 minutes, we will see extra time. And perhaps the possibility of penalties to decide who is crowned the Orange African Nations champion of 2014. Lifted in by Saka. Brought down. And this is El Tribi trying to launch a counter of his own. He's holding on to possession here. Omar standing in an offside position, but an interesting little chip over the top. Kept in play by Omar, who for a moment was standing in an offside position, so El Tribi couldn't release him. Libya looked threatening, and now the counter-attack is on itself. Looking to use this transition ball, either one of these teams. Desperate, desperate times for Libya in particular. They really look to be throwing everything at Ghana here. Omar inside the 18-yard area. Nainusan to the rescue. Goal kick it is. Libya were expecting a corner. I think that may very well have been miscalled. It certainly looked like it should have been cleared out. Either way, Mohamed Benoza signals the end of the 90 minutes. No goals in this final as yet. We will see at least an extra half hour of game time. Libya 0, Ghana 0. After 90 minutes, 5-minute break for the players before extra time gets underway. 15 minutes either way. The Libyans coming to the near side, just trying to rehydrate ahead of this extra half hour of game time. Instructions to Omar. As Javier Clemente feeds instructions being translated for Omar. It's been impressive off the bench for Libya. Abu Shnaf meanwhile looking to hold up play, just getting a little well, you wouldn't exactly call it a traditional massage. A little boot in the hamstrings, and it's certainly loosening up the muscles, and that's what the players will need. Goalless after 90 minutes, extra time awaits for these sides. It is the final of the Orange African Nations Championship.
Will it come in extra time, or will it come through a penalty shootout? Let's find out together on New World of Champions.
Managed to hold Ghana throughout this opening half, and there's still a possibility of them striking back with something in the second half. There are some outfits that you don't expect to see at football matches. I think that was one of them. This is footballing attire, if you're in the crowd. Ghanaian support, always colourful, always wonderful to see wherever you might be. Watching around the continent of Africa, whether you're watching on the international stage. Mohamed Benoza gets the first half of extra time underway. Goalless after 90 minutes between Ghana and Libya. Into the 91st minute we go, and we will see at least 120 played, regardless of whether or not we see goals in extra time. And a deflected ball, not exactly a consummate effort at goal, but a deflected ball towards Nashnusha's goal. It's tucked up by the goalkeeper. Promising start to the second half though, for the extra time period though for Ghana. Trying to toss it long, Eloni. Straight off the body of Atobra. He's gone down. Balls into the body do sting. They really do sting. Atobra's taken a bit of a knock. Ball out of play on the far side. The referee will just prevent Libya from getting this ball in quickly from the throw-in. Atobra slowly rising to his feet. This was the incident a moment ago. Straight into the hand. And he's protecting his face. Off the chest of Yahya Mohammed, cut back inside Atobra. This is better looking for Ghana, again now pushing forward, but again free kick Libya, this time off the hand of Atobra as the ball bounced into the ground, back up and into the arm of the Ghanaian youngster. Down into the ground and up into the underarm of Atobra. Referee needing to call this one. Comments it remains though. Eluni, Libya searching, probing. Abu Shnaf gets it wrong. Brilliant delivery. Eluni to his magical best down the near side flank. The perfect ball in, and he picked out the tall player who you would have expected to keep that ball down. And in a match as tight as this for Libya, that could easily have been game, set and match if it had been directed. Abu Shnaf gets it wrong. Eluni got it spot on, and on a very rare occasion the Ghanaian defence left at 6s and 7s. Meanwhile, Salama has taken a bit of a knock after a collision with the burly Yahya Mohammed. Landing a little awkwardly. There's some pressure on the lower back, it seems. Ali Salama, one of the few surviving members of the squad that participated for Libya at the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations. I mentioned that Libya some South African celebrities, Arthur Mafukate. Music is my business. Libya 0, Ghana 0. I mentioned Libya, only North Africans never to have won the African Cup of Nations, but interesting to note that the last North African side to actually win the Africa Cup of Nations was against Ghana back in 2010. Ghana sent effectively their under-20 side. Egypt took them to the cleaners in the final in certain passages of play, although far from convincing overall. Mohamed Gedo Nagy was the hero at the time. So the last continental African success for North Africa was against Ghana. Was there something in that? Akufo. Apoku. Oh, into the arm of Nuru. Unwittingly, I fear. Saleh quick to appeal, and Ghana, of course, quick to take advantage of it. Omar Abu Shnaf, return ball, build up play. Omar's quick, he's trying to round all the Ghanaian defenders. Goes over in a bundle with Ainusa. Libya will recover. Saleh. Ghana have numbers back. Got 8 players back behind the ball, and Libya being driven back now. El Ghadi all the way back to El Wadi. Salama. To the far side, Al Magasi. Saleh. Chip to the near side. Great delivery from El Ghadi. Alouni now. Up against the right back. Alouni goes down, but the referee says, no, you're not going to win a free kick when your effort is as theatrical as that. Play on is the call. Ghana pushing forward, and Yahya Mohammed is being told he's been just a little too dramatic in his fall to the ground. Referee Mohammed Banuza saying nothing wrong with the challenges, and perhaps suggesting that the players are faking these. There's definitely a big boot of El Ghadi on the shin of Yahya Mohammed as he went down to ground. In fact, so much of Yahya Mohammed's shin after colliding with El Ghadi's shin that El Ghadi's the one who's getting treatment. Mammoth effort by this man. He's really put in impressive performance. One of the several Al Ahly Tripoli players, part of the squad. And waiting for an opportunity to make an appearance is a man who himself knows all about Titanic struggles at the back. Abdul Mohammed played a crucial part for Ghana against Nigeria in the semi-final. Oh, the Mediterranean Knights up to somehow overthrow the might of West Africa in Ghana. Anuba makes way. And Abdul Mohammed is going to make his way on instead. Only a second substitution for Maxwell Konadu. Javier Clemente has only made one substitution himself, having brought on Omar shortly after the hour mark. So between the coaches, have been quite happy with their charges' performances so far and have not exactly risked changing up their tactics. Instead, perhaps hoping to rely on mistakes of their opposite numbers today. Ghana's Maxwell Konadu watching on. Clemente. 2-year contract that he signed back in October. Saleh went down awkwardly, landed awkwardly, but both players back up very quickly on their feet as Libya push forward here. Abu Shnaf near side. Alouni wanted delivery back, and Abu Shnaf trying to lift that ball into the area. In the end, a rather hopeless ball. El Ghadi now is in fact only making his way back onto the park right now. Had some ice to his right shin after that challenge on Yahya Mohammed a few minutes ago. Far side. New man on. Abdul Mohammed looking to steer this ball into the area. 100 minutes gone by. Libya 0, Ghana 0. Well, Just to the right of your screen with the bronzy golden colour tie, Kalusha Bwalya, the great Zambian player, now serves as president of the Football Association of Zambia. His Zambian side are among a host of candidates for the 2019 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. Zambia, Algeria, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, and I think Democratic Republic of the Congo, the other candidates who are hoping to host the 2019 edition. In other words, the edition directly after the one hosted by Libya. Morocco hosts the next edition next year. 2021 candidates: Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire and Guinea. All three nations that have put their hand up. Salah getting himself put under a little pressure here, and it's forced some pressure on the goalkeeper. It's cleaned up by Alwani though. Ghana winning back possession and now looking to push forward. Akufo near side, Opoku expecting Saka to be a little further forward, more advanced. Tries to come around the outside of Alwani. Gifted left-footed player, Alwani. Jordan Opoku. Oh, lovely. Between the defence, but offside flag is raised. Well, Krishna Bhutan on the near side. Saka just a little too eager to get going. And speaking of Morocco, 2015 edition of the African Cup of Nations, with the FIFA dignitaries watching on. Secretary General Jerome Falk and Sepp Blatter, the President. Federation of African Football dignitaries. The group phase of the qualifying process for the 2015 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations is going to be hosted between September and November. And 51 countries that have entered the draw. And what's going to happen is we're going to see 7 groups of 4 teams each drawn in the final phase of qualifying. That'll be campaigned between September and November, and the top 2 teams in each group will qualify directly, and the third place, the best of the third place teams of the 7 groups, will be the other team to advance along with Morocco as hosts for the tournament. The preliminary rounds will be played, I think, from April. These are all decisions that were taken recently at CAF gathering last week here in Cape Town. Saka. Salama sends it away. So for countries like Nigeria, no more competitive action for them before the 2014 FIFA World Cup. One of 5 African teams that'll be flying the continent's flag high. Ghana going for goal here inside the area. Scrambling defence from Libya, recovered. Saka, it's alive for Ghana here. Cleared, El Ghadi will send to safety. Alwani, El Tribi, Salama. All helping keep this Ghanaian side at bay. Can they handle wave after wave of Ghanaian onslaught? It's looking far more promising for Ghana, although we're reaching the end of the opening half of extra time, and that might halt the momentum of Ghana if they don't manage to find a goal here. Saka. As we hit 15 minutes in this extra time period, 1 minute of time has been added on. So it's Mr. Bangura from Guinea. Today's 4th official, El Ghadi, takes it away. And just to confirm, speaking of the World Cup and African teams, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Ghana, and the North African representatives, Algeria. So as we hit half-time and extra time, still no goals between these teams. 105 minutes have gone by. And a man from Algeria, referee Mohamed Benouza, stomps his watch. Players will effectively swap sides, or should effectively swap sides, and get play back underway immediately. If still there is no further score or no score in this game, penalties will be used to decide this match. Mohamed Benouza chasing players, trying to get them to swap sides rather than head to the near side to go and grab drinks of water, trying to rehydrate and perhaps grab instructions from their coaches. Well, it's tireless for Mohamed Benouza, who's trying to convince players from both sides to get into position so he can start the second half. Meanwhile, Maxwell Konado trying to explain to Jordan Apoka what he expects of players. El Ghadi just rehydrating. He's really been putting in the hard yards. Aluni's been outstanding. So Abu Shnaf, who's wasted more than enough opportunities for Libya in this match so far, has been replaced. Mu'attaz Fadel on in his place as the second half of extra time gets underway. Libya in the red and black. 15 minutes to find a winner, or can Ghana find one here? A scrambling ball that just dribbles wide of Nashnoush's goal. Abdul Mohammed nearly inspiring something off the bench for Ghana. Yahya Mohammed with a little touch on between two Libyan defenders. Nashnoush in the end on his hands and knees, scrambling. A relief to see that ball just going wide. Fadel down the far side, looks toward the Ghanaian goal, charging run, down to ground he goes, play on is the call. Yahya Mohammed expecting a delivery, and this time Salam has missed the clearance. Yahya Mohammed trying to get on the end of it, but in the end cleaned up by El Taribi. The Al Hilal man really putting in an impressive display and a great display of understanding and cohesion between El Taribi and his captain Ali Salama. Barnsley doesn't get the call in his favour. Hasn't really been as involved as he would have liked in the attacking forays, but this time this ball bounced up, used his left elbow. A handball call against the Ghanaian striker. Away by Anusan again. 13 minutes to play. A substitution available still for both these sides. Saleh, chip into the area, great chance for Libya. Stephen Adams, point blank. The golden opportunity for Omar to find his fourth goal of the tournament. Over the top, stayed onside, delivery was crisp, and Ghana's defence flat-footed. Surely the best opportunity of this final so far. Stephen Adams take a bow. He kept Ghana in the semi-final in a match that went to penalties with a point-blank save to deny Nigeria. He's just done the same against Libya as he kept out Omar's effort from inside the 6-yard area. Great goalkeeping, reflex actions, and showing his quality as a shot stopper. Ball out to the near side. Bear in mind, Maxwell Konadu does not have a great deal of experience to work with. Javier Clemente's got a team that's been put together from players who are not seeing domestic action. And Maxwell Konadu has taken teams from his youth, his country's youth squads. 14 of his 23 squad members are actually part of the under-23 squad. So he's really kept faith with some of the younger squad members. It's effectively what Ghana did during the 2010 Africa Cup of Nations. They had just won the 2009 FIFA Under-20 World Cup. They sent a host of those squad members to the 2010 Africa Cup of Nations. Oh, problem here, Alwani. He's clutching onto his left calf. Yahya Mohammed shoving the back of Alwani, who was mid-air at the time. Is there perhaps a little cramp setting in? I think it needs to be noted as well that the semi-finals would have taken a physical toll. Now, this was the chance that Omar really should have buried. A real credit to Stephen Adams. Oh, the reactions. Nashnoush knows how close that was to being surely the goal that would have sealed it for Libya. There have been precious few opportunities in this final. More instructions from the coach. Libya's fans remain confident that their side can somehow get to safety. Man with the Ugandan Cranes jersey has snuck in to throw his weight behind the Libyan fans. Ugandan Cranes, they had a decent campaign. They got off to a very inspired start. Yunus Santamo, 2 classic goals to help Uganda to victory over Burkina Faso on their opening day for Milutin Sredojevic's men. They then played to a goalless draw with Zimbabwe, but then lost out to Morocco on the final day of the group stage action when they needed only a draw to advance. And Yunus Santamo grabbing another goal on the day, ending the tournament with 3 goals. Barnsley down to ground. 8 minutes to play. Inside the 18-yard area, cleared out to the far side. Both these sides have kept the ball well under pressure, but we're seeing now both teams desperately trying to clear from their danger area. delivery, and that could have deflected anywhere inside the area. Still Tijani with a follow-up effort that's well wide of target, again failing to hit it cleanly, skewing off the side of the boot out to the near side. And he's really been impressive in his support play for the wingers, Saka and Tijani. But again, despite their play, they are unable to inspire a goal in this game. Inside 7 minutes, which, if we don't find a goal, we will instead see penalties to decide which of these teams are crowned champions of the Orange African Nations Championship of 2014. I go back to 1982. Ghana and Libya met in the group stages. They played to a draw. 32 years on, in the African Nations Championship, they met in the group stages and played to a draw. In 1982, the African Cup of Nations, they met in the final, where they drew and penalties were needed to decide who was victorious. We're just over 5 minutes away from the sides needing to go to penalties to decide who is victorious. In 82, it was Ghana who came out on top, 7-6 in the penalty shootout. At 32 years on, can Libya somehow banish those memories and claim victory on their first piece of continental silverware? Delivery inside the area here. Yahya Mohammed goes high, flashed at it, and then a soaring ball that ballooned over the crossbar of Nashnouch from the set piece. Yahya Mohammed got on the end of it nicely. There have been a couple of chances for the bustling strikers. Yahya Mohammed, strong, got into a good position to score. Couldn't successfully direct that ball, similarly to Abu Shnaf's effort before he was substituted for Fadel. Free kick Ghana. El Ghadi and Fadel having a little word with one another. The two Libyan players. El Ghadi completely ignoring Jordan Opoku, who he's just collided with. Inside 5 minutes to play. Set piece taken quickly here. Flick out to the far side. Still alive. Probably be a drive from range. Instead, no. Brought it out to the near side. Free kick. Two of the more powerful women in South African football, both former club owners in South Africa. Riel Ledwaba on the left of your screen, former owner of Rio Stars, a team from what's now Polokwane. Natasha Chiklis, former owner of Mamelodi Sundowns. Club bosses, powerful women in South African sport. 3.5 minutes for one of these sides to find a winner. A host of female dignitaries that have made their way out to watch the action here at Cape Town Stadium. Saleh was expecting a call in his favour, which just didn't come. So over 16,000 watching this final. Libya, vociferous support. Ghana though, perhaps a slight majority. Free kick this time to Libya. Al Magasi into gesticulation. I think you might be talking about the cramp starting to develop. Closing stages of actual game time. There's a quick word with his goalkeeper. Clemente nervously prancing around, and what an appointment it would be. But Ghana about to make their third and final substitution here. The man wearing jersey number 4 in Jackson Owusu, one of the Berwick Chelsea men. Just moments away from making his way onto the park, it seems, for Ghana. Indeed, he is going to come on. He's coming on to replace the captain as well, Jordan Opoku. So with the Opoku off, Maxwell Konadu gets to change things around slightly, perhaps hoping for a little late inspiration. Akufo has taken the captain's armband. Opoku's midfield teammate, and Asante Kotoko teammate as well. Libya 0, Ghana 0. 30 seconds to play, plus perhaps some extra time, or some added time in extra time. Off the chest of Omar. El Ghari with a clearance. Might have clipped a finger or something. He's holding on to it, but he's back on his feet. Quite happy to show the referee out of screen that he has done some damage to his finger. And it's a poor ball by Stephen Adams, a mistake that could prove costly here if Omar manages to get around Ainussen. He's back on his feet immediately. Saleh up against Ainussen. Omar, tricky runner, Saleh! As he tried to smash that ball towards the Ghanaian goal. Again, hits it off the side of the boot, skews out to the near side. And 1 minute of time has been added on here in extra time. It's ticked over to 120 minutes. Libya were pushing forward, searching for that goal. It was a poor delivery back into the field of play by Stephen Adams, who for the 5th match in 6 keeps a clean sheet, as Mohamed Bounouza says we're going to penalties to decide who will be crowned champions of the 2014 Africa Cup of Nations, or African Nations Championship. Well, Ghana were beaten soundly by the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2009. Tunisia romped to victory with a 3-0 scoreline against Angola 3 years ago. And we're going to need penalties to separate the defensively stoic Libya and Ghana. They'll talk team tactics and who's taking penalties in what order. The respective coaches have got a few minutes to do so. For the first time in the African Nations Championships, penalties will be required to determine who gets to hoist the trophy aloft and call themselves champions come the end of tonight's play. Libya 0, Ghana 0 in regulation time. We're going to penalties. Team talks. Libya gathering around their coach. Ghana opt for a huddle into the area. This match got underway with Ghana pushing forward, searching, and from the opening stages, Ponsi nearly found a rather promising start for Ghana. A flicked header over the top. It was plucked out of the air by Nashnoush. And into his right. acrobatically getting across. There was very little power behind it, a looping ball over the top. And Libya, as they made a couple of substitutions, looked promising. Omar, chief among them, looked to set up the play. Abu Shnaf looking to finish off. Delivery from El Houni was crisp and delightful, but not finished off by the tall striker that towered over his defence of opposition and got into a great position to fire home the opening goal, which in these conditions would almost certainly have proved to be the winning goal. And Ghana had a chance. Abdul Mohammed came off the bench. Abdul Latif Mohammed nearly steered home a ball shortly after making his way on, as ball deflected very kindly between the Libyan defenders. And ultimately, though, just trickled on by Nashnoush's right hand upright. And late on, Libya had a few chances of their own. Fleet-footed work being done by Saleh. Flicked in the perfect ball for Omar, who beat the offside trap, stayed onside. Lovely ball over the top. Flat-footed with the Ghanaian defence, but Stephen Adams absolutely top draw with his save down into his left. Brilliant goalkeeping, and showing why he's not been beaten in open play throughout this tournament. Only one penalty he has conceded. The captain's waiting for referee Mohamed Benouza, who's telling the technical team they need to leave the field of play and players need to gather in the centre circle before he's going to conduct the coin toss. So the captain's waiting for the referee this time, but he's dealing with what you might consider to be administrative dealings, as administrative as it gets for referees. So Libya winning the toss, they will have the first kick. And this is not tactics, this is instead a collection of prayers being offered up by men who are desperate to do this for the pride of their country. For Ghana, just cleaning out the togs. And you don't want to risk slipping as they head towards the penalty area. And Cape Town has seen some rain in recent times, so the pitch might be a little soft, but certainly not soggy. Really is anybody's game now. There's always going to be a tightly contested affair come the penalty shootouts. First penalty upon us. Stephen Adams, not been beaten in open play in this tournament. He has been beaten from the penalty mark, and in this penalty shootout he's beaten by Saleh. Libya on the score sheet first in this penalty shootout, and a good positive start from the Mediterranean Knights. Responsibility of Stephen Adams and Nashnoush. Both, bear in mind, were successful in their penalty shootout victories in the semi-finals. So Faisal Ali Saleh successful for Libya first up. And now for Michael Akufo to bring Ghana level. Nashnoush makes the first save. Akufo inheriting the captain's armband from Jordan Opoku as he was substituted late on for Jackson Owusu. It's first blood to Libya as Nashnoush makes what may very well be the critical save in this penalty shootout, but we've still got 4 rounds of penalties to come. As a flare makes an illegal appearance in the crowd. Mu'taz Fadel now for Libya. Straight into the back of the net, Libya lead 2-0. Ghana with a kick to come, but it's looking good for Libya so far, the Mediterranean Knights. Off the bench. And success. Now, man of the match in the semi-finals against Nigeria, a man who was titanic again defensively for Ghana, the youngster from Asante Kotoko, Samuel Anusun, steps up to get Ghana on the scoreboard in this penalty shootout. Denied! Nashnoush with a save again! It's certainly turning out to be Libya's penalty shootout successes. They've had 2 successful penalty shootouts already at these championships. A third in succession would see them claim the title with only 1 win in the entire tournament. They could be as little as 1 kick away from claiming the Orange African Nations Championship of 2014. Well, Ahmed Al-Maghasi, Walitiad being told to replace the ball. And now, is it on the penalty mark? Running up to slot home, Stephen Adams doesn't move. Libya lead 3-0 in this penalty shootout. Ghana with a kick to come. And the confident youngster, Abraham Atobra, jogs up to the spot, but that just smashed not too far from the middle, but already his weight had been shifted to the opposite direction. Relatively straight down the middle. And this is turning out to be a remarkable penalty shootout. Can Ghana get on the score sheet here? 2 saves from 2 for Nashnoush. Atobra sends Nashnoush the wrong way. He says to his coach, "Did it for you." It's a confident youngster, Abraham Atobra. As he did against Nigeria, confidently struck home the penalty. Mohamed Benouza signaling to El Ghadi to pull up his socks, quite literally. The penalty kick that could give the Mediterranean Knights their first continental silverware ever. A real star, Mohamed El Ghadi, is denied by Stephen Adams. At the very moment that El Ghadi had the opportunity to become his country's hero with 1 kick, he is denied by Adams, who keeps Ghana in this penalty shootout. But for how much longer? A real star in open play. El Ghadi has been denied in the penalty shootout. But Ghana now are still trailing by a kick, even if they convert from this penalty kick. 82 Africa Cup of Nations final. It was Ghana who emerged victorious in the penalty shootout. 32 years on, Libya are looking to reverse that result. Saka has to be successful, otherwise Libya are crowned champions. Godfred Saka of Adwana Stars to keep the Black Stars in this penalty shootout. He got a full hand on it, Nashnoush, but not enough to keep it out. Ghana can breathe a sigh of relief for now, but they still need a prayer to be answered and have Libya either miss or Stephen Adams make a save from this next penalty. Abdel Salam Omar, top goal scorer for this Libyan side in the tournament. Can he finish it off here? Denied by the Black Stars keeper. Stephen Adams is finishing off this penalty shootout the way Nashnoush started it. Successive saves. And Ghana can put themselves back on level terms with a successful penalty kick here. But I'll tell you this much. Jackson Owosu has got a huge amount of pressure on his shoulders as he steps up for Ghana. Libya, who thought they had this penalty shootout in the bag after Nashnoush had done all the hard work of successive penalty saves to start this penalty shootout, now needs to pull off another save against Owosu or hope the Ghanaian substitute misses. Owosu safely home. 3-3 after 5 penalties apiece. Ghana stay in this penalty shootout. Ghana stay in this penalty shootout with a convincing display from a couple of the youngsters. Stephen Adams is absolutely buoyed and overjoyed by what he's just managed to achieve. There is real tension for the Libyan fans. The emotion is unbelievable for the North Africans. El Tribi makes the terrible walk towards that penalty mark. Now the pressure is on him to give Ghana the lead. So successful defensively, the 21-year-old. So much asked of him here. Safely into the back of the net. And Libya are up by 1 again. This is sudden death, however. And now, if you miss, or if your opposition keeper makes a save, and in the corresponding kick, the other team succeeds in a penalty, it's game over. Ghana miss! Libya champions! Stepping up to the plate, Joshua Tijani, the left back, steps up and somehow misses a spot kick that he took oh so casually, far too nonchalant. And Libya have their first piece of continental silverware. There's utter disbelief from the players. Some simply can't believe that it's over. They keep looking at referee Banuza saying, is it a retake? Is it a retake? We don't know. Can we celebrate? There are a small band of Libyan fans on the far side celebrating, and Javier Clemente, the Spaniard, has been in the job for 2.5 months. He has already brought Libya their first piece of continental silverware. This is remarkable for a country that has not seen domestic football over the last 3 years. They're slowly getting back into it now. Amidst the political turmoil, the domestically based players, well, what is happening? There seems to be some confusion here, and I don't understand if their protests of Ghana have eventually come to the fore. Has the goalkeeper come flying off his line? It's turning out to be a rather farcical finish, but Ghana are protesting this. And celebrations seem to be there initially, but the penalty shootout is seemingly not over. Well, there it is. It is over. Initially, the referee suggested it was, and then it was said it wasn't. I don't know where the confusion came from. Referee Banuza has signalled the end of this match, the end of this final, and Libya are officially crowned champions. Amidst confusion here at Cape Town Stadium, the North Africans get to celebrate. They may not have ever won the African Cup of Nations, but they are the only North African side to have won it on penalties. The African Nations Championship, Tunisia are the only North African side to have won both. But they finally have that piece of silverware that they so desperately desired on an emotional day for a country that has seen so much over the last 3 years. To come back and produce a performance as they did at these championships, you could say that they only won one match on their way to this title, but they were undefeated in 6. They were structured, they believed, and there really are a few players that put their hands up throughout these championships for this Libyan side. Libya with a remarkable victory to deny Ghana for a second time in 3 finals. The Black Stars will collect a silver medal. The inaugural event in 2009 ended in disappointment for Ghana. It's ended in disappointment for the Black Stars again. Maxwell Konadu still in disbelief. But this is the final kick, drilled wide by Tijani. He missed it. Huge relief for Clemente. He didn't believe it at first. There was hesitation. And there seemed to be miscommunication between the match officials. Confirmation of the orange man of the match. 3 successive penalty shootout successes for Libya. And they have the 2014 edition of the Orange African Nations Championship in their trophy cabinet now. They'll raise the trophy aloft shortly, but celebrating as the orange man of the match, Mohamed Abdallah, the man they call Nashnoush from Al Ahly Tripoli. What a day for the Mediterranean Knights.